My dear students, Assalamu alaikum. My today's video lecture is for those students who are making preparation for MDCAT and other competitive examination. So this is relative pronoun. What is relative pronoun? I have already discussed about pronoun, various kinds of pronoun, and now I am going towards a very difficult usage of pronoun, that is relative pronoun. What is relative pronoun? Relative pronoun are those which is used and in a sentence in creating a relative class. Relative class connecting a class to a noun or pronoun. In relative pronoun, antecedent is used. Antecedent is that noun or pronoun to which relative pronoun give reference. Relative pronoun are who, which, that, what, is. Who. What is how we can use who is a relative pronoun. So who is subjective case, whose is genitive or possessive case, and whom is objective case. When who is used as a relative pronoun, who can be used for person only. It can't be used for non-living thing or animals. For example, the boy who works hard gets success in the examination. So the boy, that is noun, who relative pronoun, who give reference to the boy. So the boy will be antecedent of relative pronoun who. So antecedent can be as near to the relative pronoun as possible. Or we can say we can place relative pronoun as near to its antecedent. It may not be at distance. When we are placing relative pronoun at the distance from antecedent, it will change its meaning. So that is very important grammatical restriction, that relative pronoun must be placed as near to the antecedent as possible. So whose is genitive case of who or possessive case of who? It can be used for person as well as animals and non-living thing as well. For example, the sun whose rays gives life to earth was worshipped by ancient people as a god. So the sun whose rays, the sun is antecedent, whose, that is relative pronoun. So home is the objective case. Home can be used as an object. My father whom you saw yesterday. So whom is objective case of who. My father, that is antecedent. Whom, relative pronoun. So that can be used. That is the use of who. Now we are coming towards the use of which can be used only for animals or non-living things. For animals or non-living things, not for person. For example, the cow which I recently bought is a good one. So the cow which is relative pronoun. The cow, that is its antecedent. So be in mind, relative pronoun will be placed as near to its antecedent as possible. So that is the use of which. Now I am going towards the use of that. That, when it is used as a relative pronoun, it is tricky as well as difficult. Number one, that has no genitive case. When we are using that's, actually that is contraction of that is, not the possessive or genitive of that. As we are using whose for genitive case of who. So that has no genitive case. Number one. Number two, that can be used in preference to who or which. That can be used in preference of who or which. And number third, when date is used, we can't use preposition before it. We can't use preposition before it. So preposition will not be used. Preposition will not be used before date, or in grammatical language we can say that is not preposition proceeding. That is not preposition proceeding. So for example, I know the house that he lives in. I know the house that he lives in, not I know the house in that he lives. We can't use so. We will use I know the house that he lives in. Uneasiness or uneasy lies the head that wears the crown, not uneasy lies in the head that wears the crown. That will be wrong. Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown, not in the head. Because we have a law, grammatical restriction, that there will not be that will not be preposition proceeding. That will not be preposition proceeding. It means preposition can't be used before that. So another grammatical restriction when they with that, when there is that in a sentence and there is adjective, always use superlative degree before that. This is the best. This is the best that we can do. This is the best that we can do. So we can use superlative degree of an adjective before that. So that will be used with the superlative degree of an adjective. That can be used with some words. For example, all, same, nothing, the only. All, same, nothing, the only. When these words came in a sentence, we will use only that. We can't use who, we can't use which, we can't use what. We can only use that in a sentence. For example, all that glitters is not gold. So all that glitters, we will use all with that. All that glitters is not gold. Another thing, he is the same man. He is the same man that brought the news. All the same, nothing the only. So he is the same man that brought the news. Same with that. Another thing, it was not only for nothing that he studied astronomy. It was not only for nothing that he studied astronomy. So with nothing, that is will. Another thing, man is the only animal that can talk. Man is the only animal that can talk. So the only that will be used. So these are as well some grammatical restriction with the use of that. When there are interrogative pronoun, especially who and what, we will use that. Who and what, here be in mind one important point, that who and what are not in the form of relative pronoun, but they are, when they are used, as interrogative pronoun. So who and what, when it is used as interrogative pronoun, when it is used as interrogative pronoun, that will be used. For example, who am I that punish you? Who am I that punishes you? Punishes you. Who am I that punishes you? So who am I with who, that will be used. What is that troubles you so much? What is that troubles you so much? So with what, that will be used. Another important point with the use of that, when there are two pronouns, one refer to a man or a person, another refer to an animal. So that will be used. For example, the boy and his dog. The boy and his dog. That had entered the house. The boy and his dog. That had entered the house. Not which had entered the house, but that had entered the house. Were turned out. So the boy and his dog that had entered the house were turned out. So that will be used when there is two pronouns. One refers to the person, another to the animal. So another type of relative pronoun, that is what? So I have discussed in detail the restrictions of that, and now I am coming towards the usage of what. When there is what in a sentence, there will be no antecedent. Be in mind. What can be cured must be endured. So what can be cured must be endured. There is no antecedent. What he can be cured, etc. When what is used, there will be no antecedent. When what is used, there will be no antecedent. What can be cured must be endured. So what is used without antecedent? Be in mind. Relative pronoun is. When is used as a relative pronoun. So how we will use it? When it is used as a relative pronoun, for example, it will be used after such, the word such is, such, and after same as well. For example, tears such as angels shed. Tears such as angels shed. So such as, here such as relative pronoun. And my trouble is the same as yours. My trouble is the same as yours. So I have discussed relative pronoun who, relative pronoun whose, possessive case of who, relative pronoun whom, objective case of who. Then I have discussed which is only used for animals and non-living things. Then I have discussed that in a very detail. That have various restriction. So be in mind, the watch this video again and again for the use of that, because the use of that is very tricky. It is too difficult as well, and an MCQ is always these the use of that will troubles the student. So again and again you should watch and be attentive towards the use of that. And then I have told you about the use of what, and then about the use of is. So all these are very tricky and we are difficult. So be attentive towards the usage of those relative pronoun, as well as the place of relative pronoun is very important, because a relative pronoun must be as near to its antecedent as possible. Thank you very much.